Yes, welcome from me as well. Thanks for coming. Yes, this is a very exciting time for us. The McLaren P1 is a car that in a lot of ways we say is a car that's been 50 years in the making. It has racing genes in it that go as back as Bruce McLaren's first winning race car. We have a lot of aspects. The car is a full carbon fiber body, which is something we've released to the world in the 1980s in race cars. It has heritage in it a lot from the McLaren F1. The press is calling this the McLaren F1 successor. And so yes, at the moment it's the pinnacle of everything McLaren has to offer. It even includes racing technology of the current race cars, which I'll explain to you in a little while. But for now, I'd just like to present to you the McLaren P1. So I thought the best way, first of all, to show it's on. What I'd like to do is talk you through the specification of this car a little bit, because what you see is, yes, very beautiful, but everything is there for function. McLaren follows the theme, form follows function. Our designer for this car, Frank Stephenson, goes even further because he actually says form equals function. So if something is designed in a way that it works well, it automatically is beautiful. And I think we've proven that with this car right here. So we've changed the styling theme of this car. So normally what you do is you have a designer spend around 6 months on a car designing a beautiful shape that you then give to the aerodynamicist and the engineer. And normally what they do is they cross out all the fun bits on the car to make it road legal. And that's what you end up with at the end. We thought we'd do it differently in this stage. And we actually let the car develop itself in the wind tunnel in its most efficient aerodynamic form and grow through that process. We then afterwards took it to the styling studio and added aspects from the McLaren 12C, from the McLaren F1, and also the Formula 1 racing cars. So the shape you see is actually the most efficient in aerodynamics in terms of airflow, cooling, and also downforce. The car in its race mode generates 600 kilos of downforce, which is approximately 1,300 pounds. Which is similar to a little elephant sitting on the roof of this car. Everything else you see in the front, I'll point out some of the areas, some of the air intakes on this you see on the left and to the right. Those are for radiators that actually sit right underneath the wheels. The only thing, by the way, I should explain to you, this car is a production car. This is 97% of the car that you are able to order and to buy. The only thing that we will add is some vents. I'll point it out on this side actually. We'll add some vents to the bumper right here to get some of the warm air from the radiators coming out on the side. In the front, we've got an air induction here for a radiator that sits here. The warm air goes up there, but we have to leave the center bit free right here to feed actually the engine. This main induction on the roof scoop, which is taken from the McLaren F1. We then have a very interesting air induction, which is the one on the doors, you may have noticed. Which normally sits on the side. When you look at the 12C, that's where the air comes in. On this, we've actually measured from the computational fluid dynamics we did, which were a big involvement in the design, that actually the most efficient air induction is on the top of the roof, which gets fed with cold air over the wheel arch right here. And the other thing you notice from the front is the very long windscreen, plus we have a panoramic roof, which sort of extends the windscreen to length. When you sit inside, we created almost a hydrogen type feeling when you sit in there. It's like a glass house. The other highlight you can see from that area is you may have noticed the very reflective, almost mirror type finish on the brake discs. These are brake discs you've not seen yet in a production car. These are full carbon fiber brakes we've developed together with our Formula 1 partner, Bono, who supply the Formula 1 brakes. And in Formula 1, they're carbon, so carbon discs, carbon pads. And this, we don't use carbon pads because they don't heat up quick enough, but the disc is a full carbon fiber disc, and that's something that has never been there yet. The wheels are a new developed aluminium, which we call super aluminium. It's as light as a magnesium wheel, but actually more durable. So the lightest concept in that way as well. I think that's about it. Otherwise, I'd invite you now to come closer and take a look at the car. I'm happy to answer any further questions.
As well. You just step up and take a picture. Put my stuff on my new spider.
I don't remember.
Like the word McLaren. See a hole right there. Okay, and the fancies there. And the wheels. The fancy wheels.
Into the production car is this area here. Obviously, I mean, I've explained to you all the air ducts from the front. Obviously, we need to manage that air. We need to get rid of all the warm air. So this is actually going to be completely open, and the engine bay is going to be exposed. So you will have a thin grille, similar to the mesh on the top right there, that will cover off that area. But it'll be very technically very exposed. You will see the air brake dampers, and you will see the exhaust and the engine. Another interesting point, I mentioned the downforce on the car. Most of it happens through this rear spoiler. The spoiler comes up roughly around a foot high and then tilts 29 degrees forward and backward. So this is the racing feature I mentioned before from current race cars. This car will have an active aerodynamic and a DRS, a drag reduction system involved. So with the push of a button, you can basically, in its race mode, flick the spoiler backward to release the drag and therefore get a better straight line acceleration. And the lights of the car, I'll just going to turn this on again. You will see the lights, as in the indicators, braking lights and tail lights will be all in the surrounding here, plus the additional third braking light on the top. This finish is all going to be titanium. That was all. Thanks.